no patience. What's up, guys? How y'all doing? How's life? Good to see you, Casper. Good to see you, Muhammad. Good to see you, neighbor Rooney. We're all here for a lovely time tonight. I don't know why I'm talking like that. How you been, guys? What's new? What's going on with y'all, huh? Big wins yesterday, huh? Big old wins. Is my computer being a fucking bitch today? Is my connection being a bitch? Or am I coming through well for you all? Oh! Yes! Yes! Yeah, I mean, we're not the happiest about Mamdani, but, you know, overall, good sign for the Democrats. We kind of knew it was coming anyway. I was expecting it, so, and it is what it is. He's not going to be able to do a bunch of the shit he wants to anyway, and he's probably just going to end up being a slightly farther left New York City mayor. Let's just hope he doesn't try the rent freeze thing. That'd be terrible. I'm just going to leave this up for a little bit. Yeah, a lot of us have doubts. But, you know, I think... No, it's big dub all around. Look, even Mamdani winning, as much as, like, within the Democratic point of view, we didn't want Mamdani to win, at least... You know, we have, you know, a good... We still... It's a Democrat mayor. I think he ended up getting the Jeffries endorsement. So, like, it is what it is. We wanted someone more centrist, but it is what it is. I'm sure he'll do a terrible job, and we won't ever elect a socialist there again, so... Oh, no! Why? Hell yeah, Casper. Hell yeah. What's up, yeah? What is up? My comrades. Tonight we celebrate with potato vodka. Dems won Bucks County, PA, district attorney for the first time since the 1800s. Back when the Dems were still like a slavery party. That's wild. That is so wild. Wow. But we need to keep that... like, almost every county around the country shifted blue. That was voting. We like our communist jihadist Shia Muslim. Look... It'll be a fun experiment for them. They'll wake up in a few years and be like, oh, well, okay, let's go back to normal. The problem was, you know, the moderate Democrats ran fucking Cuomo, which was a terrible idea. But, you know, that's what moderates do. They're like, they take experience over, you know, just the fucking sense in these cases. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Yeah, I know. Virginia was really big. I think Mississippi lost the Republican supermajority, which is crazy. It was just a big, big day. Blue tsunami, baby. Blue tsunami. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Mississippi. And Trump's throwing a tantrum. It's amazing. He's losing it. He's losing his fucking mind. Trump wasn't on the ballot and shut down were the two reasons that Republicans lost elections tonight, according to pollsters. Jeez, that is a long spam today. Look at that. Within just 25 real subscribers within just 3 days. I bet. This is the end. He's a lame duck already. Donald the Duck. Well, he's still got a year. He's still got a year. He's not a lame duck yet. In reality, early exit polls showed that many people saw their vote as sending a message of opposition to Trump. There was more, right? He's talking about cheating in voting and stuff like that. You know, the usual fucking retarded shit that he says. Yeah, they're going to go so hard and nobody's buying it. Nobody's buying it. Walmart just announced that prices for a Thanksgiving dinner is now down 25%. What? That doesn't make any sense. Food is getting more expensive. Right? Did someone fact check this? It's false. It's still approximately 19% higher than pre-pandemic levels. Wait. 2024, though. It's a specific promotion offered by Walmart. He's such a retard. Oh my god, dude. This is so... I hate this so much. Wait, what? What? Ugh. What else did he say? Made over the weekend to Nigeria. If the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria. Isn't Nigeria, like, majority Christian? I don't know. I just don't know what he's talking about. J.D. Vance's was Charlie Kirk widow. Have you seen the picture? I saw the picture. Is there anything besides the picture? Because Casper was toting this around as an I told you so. But is there anything besides the picture? Another video has Trump criticizing Obamacare for being really bad health care and a disaster. 6 minutes later, he pivoted to a video going after Democrats and calling them crazed lunatics. For more than 3 minutes, Trump rails against Democrats, telling Republicans to take the nuclear option and end the filibuster. He's so stupid, and they're not going to do it. I don't think they'll do it. I mean, unless he puts the right pressure on them, I don't think they'll do it because they realize how dumb that would be. There are a ton of Muslims in Nigeria, but I thought it was majority Christian. Are they being killed because they're Christian? It's only the picture. Lots of religious warring. I thought it was an ethnic group genocide thing. That's in Sudan, I think. It's majority Muslim. Oh. Oh, yeah, but very slight majority, right? Not a big majority. Because I always see Nigerian Christians saying unhinged shit online, like everywhere. Tells a lot since her husband was Christian fundamentalist. I don't know if it tells anything from just a photo. I don't know if it's one photo. I can't. It depends on the region. More Muslims in the north, more Christians in the south. Yeah, like around Lagos. What speech? Yeah, it's terrorism, yeah. I didn't watch the speech. What did she say? Oh, further questions on Trump's mental acuity, as if like everything he fucking does doesn't raise further questions. This is so stupid. Bro, the news just needs to start being like, the dude's fucking gone. It's obvious. He's like, at least Biden was like low key with his, you know, being mentally, losing his mental faculties and getting old. Trump is like the crazy uncle who's clearly lost his fucking mind and is shitting on the family dinner table. Hassan fired shots at Ezra Klein. Oh, God.
50%. Almost at 50%. Hassan Pike in the building. Hassan Pike is in the building. Hassan's been ducking me. I want a weightlifting contest. You're ducking me.
Get on your Ezra Klein. Bro! Oh, no! Don't say shit like that. You're gonna do damage to the progress we're making, Hassan, you fucking idiot. He's celebrating. Bro, you got denounced at the debate by your guy.
Really? That's crazy. Hey, they was like, he won't condemn Hassan Piker. Remember that shit? Yeah.
He did condemn Hassan Piker.
He won't condemn Hassan Piker.
Brought it up twice. How do you feel about a socialist mayor of New York?
I feel electric. I feel amazing. I feel like being uncompromising in your values, whether it be about touching that third rail of speaking out against Israel, or primarily focusing on affordability in your campaign strategy, turns out very effective. It's something that I know you know. It's something that
Yeah, but his policies are not popular around the country, bro. This was a perfect storm for him to win. And none of you want to, like, analyze it that way. None of you want to be like, well, the other candidates were just bad candidates. Like, there no way a Republican was going to win who supported Trump. And Cuomo is fucking hated. But no one's including that in their analysis. No, it's because everybody loves socialism.
I have spoken to every fucking Democrat about. Can I curse on something? I'm sorry. It's something that I fucking talked about. Every Democrat that's like, oh, why do we keep losing? I'm like, this is why. And now I can just point to Zoran and say, hey, he did it and he won.
That's
against all odds.
You know what they called it during the Cold War? The threat of a good example.
Yes.
Right? They don't want him to succeed.
Yes.
Jamal, how worried are you that they're going to throw the kitchen sink at him now?
I'm always worried about Zoran because they've been throwing everything at him already. That's why we got
That's
to be
true.
there for him, surround him.
But they'll find out.
You're going to be in the administration?
Oh, I have no idea.
Although, I think he did say if he was going to do it, it would only be for a year. If it's only for a year, I guess that'll still cause damage, but at least it's not permanent. I don't know. We'll fucking see.
I have no idea.
Cracking skulls. Come on, you are so big. You are so strong.
We have the big boy stream just this scene right now is killing people around America.
It's crazy.
Right now, Bill Ackman is writing a very long tweet.
Headquarters. Smoking on the Bill Ackman pack tonight.
Because he's a clout-chasing, shitbag fucking slug of a human being.
Fake MAGA tough guys, Hassan and Jamal, coming to your town. Let's get on the bench press.
He's not even
Let's
from
get
New
it
York.
popping.
We will.
It don't matter. It don't make it
I
work.
illegally voted for Zoran.
Look, if he does, somehow, great, good for him. But, like, economics doesn't really back his plans up. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
He's won now. But now socialist is not a dirty word anymore.
What do you say?
Socialist is not a dirty word anymore.
Well, that's why they jumped to communists, right? You gotta be a communist.
Yeah, you
Socialist. Yeah, they immediately jumped to communists.
I will say though, like watching the MAGAs get incredibly racist about Mamdani is kind of funny.
Socialists not a dirty word anymore. Democrats, listen up. Take some lessons. Don't get on your Ezra Klein nonsense. Don't let Ezra Klein.
Who the fuck is this? I know that name. He's a representative. Oh, he's a former representative. Oh, right, that's right. He was one of the squad who fucking lost. That's right.
Analyze what happened here.
They won't.
You lost, bro.
Tomorrow when people say, but Mikey Sherrill won in New Jersey and Abigail Spanberger won in Virginia. What are you going to say?
Well, this is the other pushback, right? This is all a referendum on Trump and fascism.
Yeah, they don't see when it's Mamdani, it's ooh, socialism's great. Everyone wants socialism. When it's like Spanberger and more moderate Democrats, oh, it's a pushback against Trump. Okay, it's a pushback against Trump. This Ezra Klein nonsense he's talking about. I know Ezra was being kind of a pussy about fighting Trump, but that's about it. No, it's because Ezra's economic policy is like intelligent and not socialist. That's why. That's understandable because the whole world economic system is capitalist and only social democracy. That's the maximum you'll get or your economy will collapse. Yeah, because socialism don't work. Don't work.
In America as well, as Democrats across the Big Ten have won in different places all over the country. So that's something to celebrate as well. Oh, yeah. But let's not, we cannot undermine or play down what Zoran and his team have accomplished here. I mean, he's polling at 1%.
Yes.
No one thought he had a chance.
Not me.
Okay? And he ran an excellent campaign. He's obviously an exceptional candidate.
You believed in him, Jamal. I have a text from Jamal where he says, I fucking told you so.
That was primary.
Yeah.
Listen.
No, because it'll still run into the same economic issues. The problem is it's interfering with the natural regulation of the free market. If you just get rid of money, if you're talking about full socialism and you're getting rid of money altogether, do you know how much more war there's going to be? Like, you need to have, like, things carry inherent value, including labor. Those things carry inherent value. And one person is going to be like, why am I getting paid the same as some guy who's doing, like, not even a portion of the work that I'm doing? And shit like that. The reason why it hasn't worked is because it's not a better system yet. If a better system comes along, I'm all for it. But as of right now, they can't account for, like, the inherent value of resources and resource scarcity.
This is now about a vision of a new democracy, new possibilities, hope and joy and humanity in our politics. That's what we need.
That's what I said. That's what I said. They're all acting like, you know, socialism is now going to be this new thing in America that everyone's going to go for. Bro, like, he was playing on easy mode.
You and I and others have been facing an explosion of Islamophobia in recent weeks.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know, no idea. Nobody wants to deport us.
Yeah.
Seriously though, a Muslim is the mayor of New York City. How does that make you feel?
Makes me feel pretty good. I've never really cared much about like demographic representation until I saw a 34-year-old Muslim socialist run for office, and I was like, damn, that feels pretty fucking good. And then,
bro, he just admitted that he's a grifter. He just admitted that he's a grifter. What a fucking retard.
very quickly I realized, oh my god, it feels pretty bad. Because when they were attacking him, it feels like they were attacking me. Yeah. And then they started attacking me.
They literally did. You were involved in multiple debates.
How did you react when they said, do you condemn?
Oh, I knew it was going to happen.
Yeah, right? Socialist mayor candidate was defeated in Minneapolis, at least. It's not looking great for the socialist candidate in Seattle either, although that one's still in the air. The legal system we have is not good nor equal. We need a lot of improvements. Well, yeah, if our system was perfect, it would be perfect and everybody would be happy. Like, everything is progress. Everything is steps in better directions, right? Like, we're not in a utopian society until we're in a utopian society. But just because we have problems with our system, that doesn't mean the solution is tear it all down and do something new, which probably won't work. The solution is improving it.
It was gonna happen because guess what? All these fucking dumbass billionaires are extremely online. This is the most Twitter fucking focused presidency of all time. Get the fuck off Twitter and start doing good governance is what I say to these dipshits. But they are so slammed into their fucking phones and they're just like, oh, I hate this guy. I hate this fucking guy. It's like, I'm a Twitch-streamer. You shouldn't know me. You should not know what I represent. You shouldn't know what I represent. Look who it is.
Oh my God! Now we're gonna
Agreed.
cause some real trouble. Did he vote 65 times? We got Mahmoud Khalil is here. Mahmoud Khalil is here, and he voted 5 times.
Jamal Bowman.
He voted illegally 5 times.
Oh, he's always on Donnie headquarters.
Mahmoud Khalil, how do you feel tonight? How do you feel about New York?
Look at them all laughing it up with a fucking dog torturer.
I don't know how anyone feels today. Like this campaign.
That's the face of socialism.
proves what politics actually is. Rooted in justice.
We got the public advocate. Oh, congratulations. Giovanni Williams is here.
We shook up the world!
He shook up the world.
We shook up the world!
The world?
You were one of the earliest people to...
Alright.
Strongest. Our assignment everywhere is to send the strongest fighters for the working class wherever possible. In some places, like Virginia for the gubernatorial seat, that's going to look like Abigail Spanberger. In New York City, unequivocally, it is Zohran Mamdani.
I mean, she just announced her presidential run, I guess, right? Unless that was bullshit. No, so that was just online internet bullshit. She got the Ezra memo. Yep. I hope so, man. When the rich people develop the best AI and replace us all, then we will still be waiting for improvements. It's so doomed. No. That doesn't make sense. They're still going to need people to buy their shit. They won't be rich if they don't have people to buy their shit. Ah, blue wave, blue wave. What barcode? Yeah, it does seem like they're going to rule against him from what I've seen. Again, what would they be rich over? What would they be ruling over? That doesn't really make sense. They still need people. All right, I'm taking this shit off. God forbid a Hassan watcher comes in here. Have you seen the Groypers destroying Vivek? These mad retards are reaping their reward. Oh, link me. We had a Groyper in here earlier.
Question, though. Could the statute, it's a major question though. Could the president impose a 50% tariff on gas-powered cars and auto parts to deal with the unusual and extraordinary threat from abroad of climate change?
It's very likely that that could be done. Very likely.
I think that has to be the logic of your view.
Yeah, in other words, obviously this administration would say that's a hoax, it's not a real crisis, but...
I'm sure you would.
Yes, but that would be a question for Congress under our interpretation, not for the courts.
All right. And then...
Damn, Gorsuch believes in climate change. Good for him. Oh, his mom was the EPA administrator in the early 80s. Okay. Holiday posts on Twitter. Well, if someone finds it, let me take a look. Oh, man. Pope Leo offers his strongest criticism of Trump yet. Leo seems like a decent guy. Pope Leo has called for deep reflection on how migrants are treated in the United States, where he said many people were deeply affected by the controversial policy of mass deportation. So his strongest criticism today to President Donald Trump's administration, the first ever U.S.-born Pope, also warned that the U.S. bombing of Venezuelan ships suspected of carrying drugs risked increasing tensions in the region. Emerging to address a bank of TV cameras outside his papal retreat at Castel Gandolfo and offering to answer one or two questions, Pope Leo XIV said there were people who have lived in the U.S. for years and years, never causing problems, who have been deeply affected by Trump's hardline policy on migration. Speaking in English and reaching a U.S. audience directly, he reiterated the Catholic belief that every Christian will ultimately be judged on how they welcome the foreigner. I was struck by how direct his reference was, because he's obviously talking about the ICE roundups, Catholic historian Austin Ivory told the BBC, referring to the immigration enforcement body in the U.S. It's very strong. Initially, after his election in May, Leo's comments on geopolitics were cautious. Then last month, he used the word inhuman in reference to the Trump-led crackdown shaking conservative Catholics in his own country who had embraced the American Pope. They had seen Pope Leo as an ally after a fractious relationship with his predecessor Francis, who once described Trump as not Christian for building a wall on the border with Mexico. Now they're waking up to the fact that Leo isn't going to change church teaching for their sake, Mr. Ivory said. They realize that he's very different from Francis in his style, but it's the same teaching and priorities. He's very much a continuation. Fucking JD and Marco. Born in Chicago, Pope Leo, or Robert Prevost as he was then, spent much of his working life as a missionary in Peru, an experience that has also shaped his approach. I think this is an issue that matters to him personally, Professor Anna Rowlands of Durham University said. Hang on. He has lived in countries affected by these policies and been welcomed himself as a migrant. He was, in effect, a migrant bishop. In his first major document published last month, Pope Leo revealed that the issues of poverty and migration would remain at the heart of his papacy. He stressed that message at a recent meeting in the Vatican with U.S. bishops. Leo offers an entirely orthodox response to migration, Professor Rowlands pointed out, straight down the line. He is, she said, citing a church tradition stretching back more than 100 years on the issue that includes ensuring the rights of families to remain together and protecting their spiritual needs. The Pope underlined that last point himself when journalists asked about an immigration facility near Chicago where detainees have reportedly been barred from receiving communion. Many people targeted in the ICE raids are Catholic from the Americas. I would certainly invite the authorities to allow pastoral workers to attend to the needs of those people, he said. On Venezuela and the Trump administration's policy of targeting ships and killing crew members, the Pope called for dialogue and calm. I think that with violence we won't win, he said in Italian. He suggested that the deployment of the U.S. Navy vessels close to Venezuela was increasing tension rather than working to defend the peace. 6 months on from his surprise election, the contours of Pope Leo's papacy are becoming clearer, and his habit of visiting Castel Gandolfo, shunned by Francis, has also brought new transparency. For years, journalists have had to wait for a papal trip abroad to get anywhere near the head of the church and put their questions. When the Pope speaks very definitely like this, it does put pressure on the U.S. administration, particularly those who identify as Catholics, Mr. Iver Lee said. So far, Leo's avoided getting entangled in the whole Trump machine. Maybe he's taking that risk now. Very interesting. Let's see. Anything else to go over?
We're blowing.
I didn't really get to watch this Destiny Unfuck America thing. If you guys would be down to watch that. The latest one. Meh? It's a meh? No, why not? Too edgy, depraved.
This is Tom,
This looks fun.
America's most racist man. And
That's
this is
probably
me,
not
an
true.
Asian guy bringing Asian snacks to him. Everyone warned me not to do it, that I would get shot, spat on, even lynched. But you see, I'm a believer that sharing some delicious snacks this good can always bring the world together, perhaps even change some of his racist opinions. So that's exactly why I've made this long mission to the middle of nowhere in Arkansas to find America's most racist man. Because I'm gonna give him
Come
some
on!
authentic Asian snacks for the first time and find out just how racist he is towards Asian people. Let's do it.
Oh, there's Tom's garage.
That's Tom's garage?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Everything's up.
He did say he doesn't do knees.
By knees, I mean Chinese, Vietnamese, Taiwanese. I don't do knees.
You don't do these?
Oh. Mr. Tom, hello. Hi, Mr. Tom. My name's Edward. Can I shake your hand?
Yeah.
Pleasure. Nice to meet you. Look, I know you said you don't do knees.
Oh, God!
no, okay, look, but I brought some really good Asian snacks, authentic Asian snacks that I was wondering if you would like to try them with me.
No, I have a phobia about that. I've had bad experience.
What was your experience?
I got horribly sick.
Really?
More than twice.
Do you want to take a look at them at least? You don't have to eat them. You can decide after you take a look at them.
I'll look at it.
Awesome.
Yo, you know what? So far, does not seem racist at all. He shook my hand and everything. He's like, he's okay. Like, he looked
He
at
comes
me
back
and
out
he
with a
goes,
shotgun.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
He's like, get off my property.
Hey, do you think you can help us convince Tom to try some Chinese snacks? I guarantee you they won't give him food poisoning.
Thomas, will you do something for me? Will you try something? Just one.
Sure.
I love you, darling. Come here. It won't kill you.
They're packaged, fully sanitary, and I guarantee you.
It ain't the sanitary I'm worried about.
Well, it's what is it? What are you worried about? Chinese? Well, I mean, maybe
It won't kill you.
maybe it'll change your mind. They're really delicious. How about you take a look at them first when we're down there, and then see.
All right. And my wife likes Chinese. So
I do. I love
I'll
Chinese.
plan on working up enough of an appetite to.
All right. So far, he hasn't been hostile or anything to us. You know what I mean? Yo, when he sees the final snack that I have prepared for him, he's gonna flip out. Oh no way! That's so nice.
Yo, what the fuck?
This is the first one like it. Another one
Oh my
almost
God.
identical will be
Yeah.
set beside it with a space between them.
It's really like nice paint job. Why the blue and white?
I picked the white. My wife picked the blue.
Not like a red and yellow, like the national flag of China?
No, I wasn't really thinking of China at the time.
Well, let me grab some of the good stuff for you. I'm from Canada, actually. Yeah, so I was born and raised in Toronto, Canada.
Really?
Yeah, so quite far from here.
We have a friend from Canada.
From Toronto.
He's a refugee from Canada. He's not politically correct in their hate speech laws.
Oh, so he came down here. Right.
There's a hate speech law in America, and they say they're coming.
Yep.
I want to violate every damn one of them.
So how would you define the word racist?
Jesus. Why, bro? How am I supposed to even get
saying
past
it's
this part?
White people
What up,
using
Scarecrow?
it against other white people.
Yeah, it's white
Basically.
versus white.
Would you say you see color more than these people or less than these people?
I see it from an honest lens, an objective lens. That means noticing patterns. You know, Asians don't commit a whole lot of crime.
Is that why you're comfortable taking me to your new house?
Oh no, I'd be comfortable with the others because I'm a badass.
Well, Tom, let me get you with the first snack.
Oh God, there's more than one.
Yes, there's quite a few, and they go in escalating Asianness.
Escalating Asian.
Yes, the first one is like
Talk about a slippery slope.
Asian. I gotta take this off. It's so hot here.
Yeah, that's
I'm gonna take this off. Ah.
You can do like some of the people I know. Just take off your shirt and flex your muscles.
No, that's not to the point. I actually, what do you think about this this jacket I have so far, though? Actually,
it's rather nice.
Would you like one?
Oh, I wouldn't mind wearing an orange one like that with a pocket.
Do you want to try it on? Just to see how you look. I think it looks good on you. I have to bring one back to you.
Bro, how am I
This
supposed
is
to get
small. I'll
past
give
this
you
fucking part? This is
Anytime
crazy.
an American sees someone wearing something like that, they automatically think a kung fu movie is up.
Yeah. Yeah. That. All right. So here we go. So this one is Pocky.
I am a brave man.
Yes. So I know you didn't have a good experience with Asian food the first 2 times.
Am I just supposed to fucking fast travel?
Yeah, I kept a pair of scissors in my pockets.
All right. Hopefully it didn't melt in the car, but here, grab one. Here you go, Kathy.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers.
Maybe use that gun.
They were good.
All right.
So what would you rate this out of 10?
For candy or pie, I tend to like dark chocolate.
You don't like chocolate that much.
He does.
Oh, you love chocolate.
I just like dark chocolate. Bitter taste.
That's quite a surprise. You don't like white chocolate?
Oh well, no one's perfect.
So I got a series of questions I wanted to ask you between the snacks. Why you're labeled as quote-unquote the most racist man in
Yeah,
America.
that's it. That's what I gotta do.
And it's not permitted. Since most of those people calling my name mean different names, it's like calling someone a poopy head in school. So I should value their opinion.
Well, hopefully you'll be guilty of enjoying this next snack. Hello, Panda.
It's got to be a panda bear from China.
It actually is. This is actually from Japan, but they use pandas
Oh.
because they're cute.
They've stolen your panda?
Look, there's a picture of the panda on this one.
Yeah, Outer Worlds too.
No, it just looks like a stain. Where it got burned a little bit.
It's good, isn't it? I gotta tell you, like, America doesn't do flavors like this.
America doesn't do flavor anymore.
So you don't like it?
I still like dark chocolate more.
I wish I bought you some dark chocolate. I didn't think you like dark chocolate.
Am I really gonna have to fight my way all the way through this?
When it comes to chocolate, that's where your racism stops.
Yeah,
Fuck.
there has to be a line somewhere. In the candy scale, I'd give it a 5. 5 and above, I'll eat.
Stay tuned because I do have something very dark for you to try, but it's not chocolate.
Oh, what?
Okay, so my next question for you is, when did your specific thoughts about races form?
I haven't hit any
What was your specific
microtransactions.
experience that led you to become the person you are now?
My brainwashing broke. Everyone in America has been hit with propaganda and brainwashing. If you can control terminology, you can control ideology. Now you have white people running around feeling white guilt. That's not a natural thing to feel.
So you're against people feeling shame for being the color they are. That's what you're saying.
Oh, everybody has the right to
Oh,
feel
God.
proud of their ancestors and their accomplishments.
That's the
So would you
one
feel the
annoying
same
thing
way
about
if I
picture in
told you,
picture.
Like, I wanted to be very proud of being Chinese.
Good for you.
I see. And if something was leading me to be not proud of being Chinese, would you want me to be proud of being Chinese? You'd be like, hey.
I want you to fight it.
To fight it and to be proud of who I am?
Yeah.
That's what we want.
No,
That's what we're
I haven't run into any microtransactions.
Do not be ashamed of being who you are.
So next snacks I got for you are these shrimp crackers.
Are you fucking kidding me? Who shot me? Who fucking did that?
I could grow used to these. I'll give this a 6.
A 6?
Fuck off.
High mark for me.
Is it a high mark?
Unbiased. And part of it, I said, might be because my palate's accustomed to it.
That makes sense, because you're used to American snacks, growing up with them. In the past Gideon video, you said that you don't do any knees, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done these.
Now you're doing
Shit.
knees now. So what's going on through your head? Like, what's making you try?
You haven't poisoned me yet.
I have an interesting question for you. What other Asian stereotypes do you have in your mind, or that you know the society has for Asians?
In general, you're shorter.
That's true. I am shorter.
In general, we always see you having theater vision.
And has that been true so far? Like from the Asians that you
Yo,
met?
yo.
Our eyes are more,
Yeah.
how do you call it? Almond shaped?
Yes.
Yes.
That they're polite, well-mannered, and orderly.
Does that sound like the perfect neighbor?
It might be a perfect neighbor, but it's not a neighbor of choice.
Next snack here we have is bin rice crackers. Probably what you would expect I would bring for you, rice. There you go, you can just rip it like that. There we go, there's one for you. So these are super bingeable. Very, very tasty. Do you like it? Not at all?
I'll give it a 3.
Really? What is it about it you don't like?
I don't like my crackers to have a sweet taste.
Do they have a sweet taste?
Well, I have to override you. I give it a 9.
Whoa! Maybe it's acquired taste. The more you eat Asian food, the more you like it.
Could be, but I don't think I'll be working at this one.
So would you rather have me as your neighbor, the way I am, polite, nice, or a white person, but they are a druggie and they commit crimes and they cause ruckus? So who would you rather have, them or me, as your neighbor?
Neither one.
If you had to pick one. You had to pick one.
Okay, gun to my head.
Gun to your head.
Pull the
me.
trigger.
All right, next up I got for you is...
It looks like fireworks.
Paw flakes. And we usually eat these after drinking some traditional Chinese medicine to kind of help with the taste. These are made with haw berries. So, I think you'll like this one.
It's all right, no bitterness to it. No, I'll give it a 5.
5? So everything is like basically a standard 5, except for that 1/6 of the shrimp crackers.
There's very few things I like more than that.
But you haven't even seen the best ones. I saved the best for last.
You feed me the garbage first, so.
So, as you know, I'm from Toronto, one of the most multicultural cities in the entire world. Imagine yourself living there. How would you be, and what would you do?
I'd be in jail.
For what?
Oh my god, bro.
Don't feel left out. Feel proud.
He still won't take me as his neighbor.
You know.
Kathy, would you like me as your neighbor?
How much farther behind is this gonna put me?
As long as you stayed on your side.
Second time?
Actually speaking, I would be the better neighbor.
Factually speaking, you would, but I really want to find a way around that. Can't get rid of him, clause.
Right. But you wouldn't get rid of me, right?
No, I wouldn't do that to you.
Thank you.
See, I wouldn't feel guilty at all if something bad happened to the druggie.
All right, so I'm really trying to get a 10 out of 10 from you. So this here is a sake ma. Can you say that?
Don't want to say that.
Can you try to say that?
Sake ma.
Yeah. So that's in Cantonese. And in Mandarin, it's sha qi ma. Can you say that one too?
Sachi ma.
Yeah, not bad, not bad. You're pretty good. I think you have talent. If you started learning Chinese at a younger age, I think you could be living in China.
Oh God, thankfully I didn't.
All right, here we go. So next time we got the sake ma. Right. So this is a egg pastry, egg flour pastry. You don't like it at all? You don't gotta finish the entire thing. It's so good. I think it's better than dark chocolate.
That's your. I respect it.
Tom's actually getting rid of it. Did you like it? Yep.
This guy is not the most racist man in America. That is
That's pretty high score.
false
Yeah, Tom likes to
advertising.
rate this.
I mean, he's kind of
Tom?
racist, but he's not the most
3?
racist man in America, that's for sure.
Just a 3? What do you not like about it?
I didn't like the texture. I didn't like the particular flavors. It's still not chocolate.
I really
Yeah, he is, but he's
once in a
not the
while, do you
most
want to try
racist.
food from different cultures to see what's out there? You know, to maybe culturally blend a little bit.
No, I'm not going to be blended in any form, shape, or manner.
Do you believe that the
I've met
value
people
of
who are
every
more
human life is
racist
the
than
same
this
regardless
guy.
of different cultures?
No. It would be the value that their culture places on it. Here's the scenario I might have to have. There's a burning house.
That's probably
Risky to go
true.
in. If I know that's a drug dealer and there's risk, I wouldn't ask anybody to go in that house. If I know there's an innocent child,
How
Oh, fuck!
It's Jello.
It is jelly,
It's
yeah.
white Jello.
Which one versus one? If there was a burning house and there was 3 of me versus 1 of that white druggy criminal in the house, which one would you save?
I'd save you.
Yeah, see? Not. At least he'd say that like a real racist, like a real hardcore fucking racist would be like, fuck you. I'd let you die.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I think you'd like this too then. You squeeze the whole thing out.
It's Jello.
It is jelly,
It's
yeah.
white Jello.
Exactly, that's why I thought you would. Don't you like it?
Still tastes Jello-ish.
I've seen people talk that way before.
How do you like that flavor though?
I would grow it as
Like
fruit
two
if it
people's
would grow around
faces.
here. Since I sort of like Jello, even though I don't eat it much, I'll give it a 6.
A 6. I feel like 6 is like maybe your upper band, your upper limit you're willing to give these snacks.
Oh, probably is because it's not chocolate. So, you know, I got a littering ticket for tossing out flyers.
And what would your flyer say?
It was a
Justice for Tom.
Well, you remember him.
Well, I mean, I think everyone should get justice regardless of race, creed, culture.
Well,
assuming that there's no more additional extra text in the bottom.
No.
Small print, no.
And even additional text would still be protected, provided it wouldn't profane and didn't encourage violence. They use such things as me to intimidate others.
What's
So
up,
it
buddy?
affects everybody. I just happen to be the one that's standing in their way, and so rather than take it, rather than be complicit by my silence, and in some ways morally.
My brother Jordan, what's up? Good looking.
Scared the shit out of me.
Take it, God damn you all.
Didn't mean to startle you, bro. Didn't mean to startle you.
And then
I'm doing good, man. How you feel about this blue wave, dude? Holy shit.
I feel great.
Would you
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I
that was
think
super loud. I gotta turn you down just a little bit.
My fault. My
No,
fault.
not your fault at all. Not your fault at all. Hang on.
Dude, holy shit. I mean, I think most of us, most of us moderate Dems probably knew that this was coming, but holy shit. What a blowout. What a blowout yesterday, dude.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Swinging 40 points in, like, Virginia is kind of nuts. That's kind of crazy. We had 40 points, obviously, for Zoran or whatever in New York, but...
Yeah, but I
holy
mean,
shit.
we kind of, that one was kind of like clear that was coming. Like, we all knew that. The Virginia one is pretty telling, and MAGA is in full-on complete denial, and it's hilarious.
I think my biggest fucking shock was Georgia. Like, we've really swept Georgia.
Yep.
Like, every Georgian county.
You saw
pushed, like, at
the
least 10
Mississippi
points to the
Senate,
left.
the Republicans lost their... Yeah, I'm not playing that,
Yep.
Cosmic. They lost... The Mississippi
Fucking
Senate lost
insane.
their supermajority.
Yep. I mean, it was a big day. On a year that's not seriously, like, consequential for a lot of us. Like,
hang
in
on.
California, you're...
Hang on, I'm just going to play this real quick. No worries.
You do a stupid ass talk show and then it turns into a fucking like flashpoint for this meta political battle. You know what I mean? Like it's like Luke Skywalker's literally like Luke Skywalker. Like you're a fucking moisture farmer. you're like a moisture farmer that's shooting womp rats with your buddy. And you're like, man, I wanna get off this planet. I wanna fly a fucking spaceship. And then you find yourself with like this old man and like this smuggler on a fucking cargo ship,
I
and
fucking
then you're
love
like
that.
in the middle of
Going
this
full-on
civilizational
Star
battle
Wars
on the
with
Death
the
Star.
water
That's
whistle.
what it felt
I'm
like.
digging it.
It's like here I am. I'm like this kid from LaGrange
Is that
Park.
Vader's theme?
I'm at
Is that
school.
Vader's
No, that's
I'm
the
doing
Star
this
Wars
stupid show, And
okay,
then I'm
okay.
thrust into the center
I'm like,
of
oh
like this
shit, here we go.
1,000-year conflict between Christians and Jews.
Oh
like
my God.
The Roman Empire and Israel.
Fuck
and
this
it's
guy.
Like Netanyahu's condemning me on TV. Hey man, I'm just like a moisture farmer.
Speaking of Star Wars,
I didn't
dude,
mean
we
to
just
blow
had
up.
Hang on, buddy. We're still watching this video.
Another.
I got
One thing led to another. They took my droids. You know, I wound up in this cantina, and now I'm on this spaceship, and it's like I just, But that's the hero's journey, right? It's the Odyssey.
What a piece of shit. All right, go ahead. What were you saying?
Oh, we were, there was like a leak that came out about Star Wars Eclipse, that new game that's coming out from Star Wars.
Yeah.
We had like a trailer about a year and a half ago. I don't know if you remember it. It was like the Urukai beat on drums and shit.
Yeah.
We just saw some leaks of that game, and that game looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That game looks fucking awesome. But I do want to say,
sorry, go ahead.
As far as the voting shit though, dude, California, you guys showed the fuck up. And I mean,
yeah, bro, I voted.
On California was just the redistricting, right? It was like the what was it? The
I voted the fuck out of
proposal
that one.
50 or something like that.
Yeah, Prop 50. Yeah.
Prop 50. Yep, proposal 50. Like that shit was blown out of the water. You guys fucking came in clutch. I mean, obviously,
we
California
went hard on that one.
California is the kings.
California
let's
Republicans are already suing about it, and I'm just laughing.
There's nothing that you can do. This is done now. But man, what a week. It's been a crazy week. I feel really bad for my lower income brothers and sisters that are sitting out here on EBT and Snap and shit.
Yeah, well,
they're probably gonna get fucked.
The pressure is going hard on Trump for that one.
Yeah, and I mean, he seems like he's doubling down on it.
No,
Like
he's cracking. He's cracking, dude. He was like, so they were like, we're gonna give them half of the. We're gonna support it, so at least they get half of the money. And then he went on Truth Social, probably because he saw some shit on TV that pissed him off. He's like, we're not gonna give anything until the Democrats and blah blah blah. Yeah, until unless they do the filibuster, and then a day later, like the White House comes out and is like, oh, we are actually gonna give the money because they were losing that in court. So like he's a liability, dude. He's a liability for them, honestly, at this point. Like, yeah, he galvanizes the Republican Party, but he causes legal problems all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's no way to like legally uphold anything that he's doing. But at the same time, I do think. Hold on.
And that costs money. And the longer this shutdown goes, and he's like owning it, the longer this shutdown goes, that costs America. Yeah, and that costs more money. That costs more money than opening the government back up. It's more expensive. Was this the?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the shit's kind of crazy right now, but I will say in purple states we did awesome. Pennsylvania, Virginia, we did awesome. But Georgia blew my fucking mind. Georgia like completely swung, and I was not expecting that.
Well,
at
that
all.
needs to carry over into a presidential election, because here's the thing. Like, yes, it's exciting. Yes, that looks great. But Democrats, on average, definitely do better in like off presidential year elections. So we need to be able to carry that through to the actual general in 3 years, right? Now, if Trump keeps being a retard, then I think we'll be able to. But if like they figure out like if like if he loses like one of the houses of Congress, he's not going to be that much of a retard anymore.
Well, and I guess in my opinion, the hardest thing about in 3 years is like we don't even have a solid candidate. Like who are we going to push? Are we going to push Kamala again? I don't think any of us have the answer to who we're going to push next.
I mean,
presidential
right
election.
Now,
you know what I mean?
As it stands right now, it looks
maybe
like
Newsom.
It looks like it'll be Newsom. Yeah.
Newsom. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see if that holds
AOC,
up.
Depending.
No, I don't.
Depending on the
primaries,
I don't think.
I don't think so, and that would be a pretty bad choice. She's too young.
Well, I don't think. I don't think she's done enough either.
Yeah, that would be a bad choice for us to run. I think she.
Gavin's kind of proved that, like,
give
dude,
her like another couple cycles and maybe she'll be ready. But this time around, no, I don't think so.
I mean, it sounds like such a meme, but Gavin's like moving like, I'm gonna let my nuts hang, dude. I'm gonna let my nuts hang.
And he is. He's fucking him plopping. He's fucking plopping him down on the table. He's a badass.
So fucking based. So fucking based from him. You know. I kind of hated what he was doing earlier on this year with like his podcast and like bringing on certain. Did he have Steve Bannon? I know he had Ted Cruz.
Yeah, he had all those guys. He might have hated it. I thought it was great. I thought he needed to keep doing that, keep bringing these people on. But what he needed to be doing was he just, I know he was like in the beginning of it, he was finding his footing, figuring out how he wanted to do this. Now it's time to keep doing the podcast and like push back and debate these people, but not too hard, because if you do it too hard, they're not going to want to come on. So you have to like hit the right middle. Your guy in Kentucky seems like a solid candidate, just needs to be more in the spotlight. I agree, Barcode. I think if Andy Bashir, starts stepping up his public appearances, he could make a really big push, and he'd be a really smart choice for the Democrats because he would appeal to a lot more moderate and even centrist, Republicans and a lot of independents too.
I think a lot of centrist Democrats were really like putting a lot of stake into people like Buttigieg, which unfortunately is kind of tasted sour in the mouth as of recently. But still,
why? I think Buttigieg is great. It's just he's unlikely to.
I still love Pete.
Yeah,
I still love
just
Pete. I
unlikely
think
to
he's
win,
fucking awesome.
which sucks. But
yeah, he's just kind of. He's kind of the strongest kid that's getting bullied, right? Like he's destined to like almost crash out and go and spank the shit out of somebody pretty soon. But Pete Buttigieg is that guy that's constantly getting, arrows shot at him over and over again in the media, whether it's because he's gay or whether it's because he's kind of soft-spoken and chill. Like Gavin at least has that assertive like dominance. Like Gavin is making Trump look like a pussy right now. He really is. First person I've ever seen that's just literally laughing and pissing in Trump's face, and it's fucking awesome.
It's great. Yeah.
I did have some opinions early on in Gavin's career. I thought like this guy is like one of those.
Inez here. Yeah.
He came from some decent money and shit like that or whatever. But now it's almost naive to not see him as the front runner. Like he's doing the most. He is doing the most. I can see certain places doing a little bit more, especially with like the ICE raids and like the invasions, the Insurrection Act invasions of certain cities. Like if Zoran, this is crazy to say, but if Zoran like starts locking up ICE agents, starts arresting ICE agents, that's a huge boost in capital for you. You know what I mean? Even for like Pritzker has the same advantage. I think they've kind of left LA alone right now because they see that Gavin is not the one to fuck with. Gavin is just not the guy to fuck with. He's gonna fuck back. Like this guy fucks back.
I know.
Right?
I like it. It's great. It's what we need right now.
I do too. I think
and for all we feel about fucking Mamdani, at least he fucks back as well. Yo, what up, PJ? Welcome.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Mamdani supporter. I'm glad that he won because I fucking hate Chris Cuomo for a lot of different reasons. I think it's probably the sexual assault, right?
I mean, look, if the moderate Democrats wanted to win, they should have gotten somebody new, someone exciting, a counter to Zoran, not somebody like Eric Adams, who's a corrupt motherfucker, like 2 times over, or
Hakeem Jeffries, who does nothing,
or Cuomo, who everybody fucking hates.
It
was just a bad choice. And now we're stuck with fucking Zoran, which is whatever, but,
I don't think that that's the last person that we have to worry about, or the last person that we have to rely on over the next 3 years.
Wait, where's it now?
I think we're going to see a lot more. I think it's going to be really interesting. I think I've seen a ton of content, and maybe a lot of people aren't watching this, but certain
I agree,
Tennessee,
BJ.
certain people in Tennessee, certain political figures in Tennessee are really moving forward. Now they may have like a Christian background, which already kind of turns me off a little bit. I don't want to hate on the Christian faith, but as soon as you start like pushing that Christian nationalist narrative, I start to lose faith in you a little bit. Not to say that Christianity is a bad thing, but I think that there's going to be some people that are going to surprise us in places like Georgia right now that the Democrats have won over, places like Tennessee, places like Kentucky, North Carolina. There are a ton of people out there, and yes, they are coming from like a religious standpoint, but they are acting against for their less than Christian beliefs, right? Like you're not being Christ-like. You're fucking cutting poor people off a snap. You're fucking taking healthcare away from a lot of people. You know, there's a ton of people that are moderate in the middle of the country that I think that we don't even consider because they're in these super red states. I've seen a couple of representatives out of Tennessee that are looking really fucking good, and nobody even gives them a glance because they're in a super hyper red state as Tennessee, right? Like you're not even going to look at this guy.
Right,
but
of course.
I think the one thing that Zoran gives us, even though it's not a great thing. Like I mean, I kind of grind my teeth at the thought of this. I don't live in New York, so I don't have to deal with it. But I think what it gives is an opportunity for more people in the centrist view of liberalism to come out and actually speak out the way that Gavin has. Like there is a sense of you're not getting bullied, so you might as well just fucking clap back, right? Gavin Newsom was the one that was getting bullied. He's clapping back hard as fuck. Zoran was nobody a year ago, to be fair. And not to say anything bad about the guy, but he was nobody a year ago. And he's given some courage to the rest of us to fight back. I mean, if you're not fighting back like Gavin, Zoran, AOC, and maybe I would say Jessica isn't that her name on Fox News? Jessica Tarlov? I don't remember exactly. But there's like a few Democrats that have been actually fighting this whole time. And I think that that's just granting more courageousness from other Democrats. I think we're going to see a lot of people come out over the next 3 years that are actually standing up. I think we have a chance. I think that if we don't do it, the current administration is going to, and the rest is going to know that it's a fucking sham.
Bro, you
like
are
it's a total
breaking
fucking
up.
lie.
I don't even know what you're saying right now.
Am I?
Yep, big time.
That's weird. I'm on like hardwired Wi-Fi. That's weird. My bad. Can you hear me better now? Hello?
Oh, how do I stop it from falling on Fairfield? Hang on. Wait a minute. Oh no, I fucked up. Shit.
Oh no.
I fucked up big time.
In the game?
Yeah.
My bad, bro. I jumped in because I was super excited. I'm like, I want to talk to bro about this. Like, my bad, man. My bad.
Shit. Damn it. I'm gonna have to start the shit over.
The entire thing?
Basically. I'll do that on my own time.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I didn't jump in for that. I was like
No,
super
no, no,
excited
no, no,
about.
no, no. It was before you came on and talked.
Fuck, man.
It was before you came on and talked. It's fine. Well, I want. Wait, actually, let me see if it's. Maybe it's in.
There's no like revert.
My cloud saves. Let me see.
Fuck.
Wait. Cloud saves.
Fuck. I'm
Hang
sorry,
on.
brother.
No, it's
I
fine.
did not mean to do that at all.
Dude, it was before you came on. It was earlier today.
Okay. All right. I've been going through some kind of similar shit in like Fallout 76, but damn, man, I feel bad when that shit happens.
Yeah, but
you're
like
on a
I
run.
said, it wasn't you. I might be able to save it and not go back too far. Okay, clear local save. App.
I will say, just as like a filler here, I will say that this election was like the most shitty one-off election. Like most states didn't even vote this cycle, but um for the polls, not even the polls, but for the statistics to come back the way that they are, dude. Holy fuck, this is a total shift.
Yeah.
This is a total shift, man. And this is something we knew was going to happen. I think anybody who was left of center knew that within the first year, this was going to be a fucking disaster. And we were just going to kind of watch it. It fucking sucks that we have to just sit back and watch this bullshit. But yesterday was a big moment for democracy. It was. It was.
Let me see what happened.
Flat out.
I agree.
The voting made a difference yesterday. You know, we're dealing with an authoritarian regime. I don't know how far this is going to carry, but yesterday was a great fucking day to prove what our democracy is, how strong it really is.
Yeah, I hope that continues. I mean, again, let's not get too excited, right? This is one fucking situation here.
I mean, half cycle to the midterm. Half cycle to the midterm is a big thing, but I'm with you. I'm not gonna like count my pennies right now. Like I'm still fighting the good fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's a really good indication, especially some of those swings. Watching a plus 40 swing in fucking Virginia is kind of crazy. Like, you know, watching all of Georgia swing to the left is, I mean, it's a good indication. That's one less state that they have now to gerrymander, right? Like they could have used Georgia a couple months ago. Now they can't. Georgia has ultimately pushed a mandate that says that they are for the people, right? Like Georgia is a extremely red state. For them to swing so blue, that's telling. That's telling. I think we have a shit ton of farmers. We have a shit ton of poor people that are on EBT that are seeing that this is not working like what they thought was going to work.
You're breaking up again a little bit, buddy.
That's insane.
Damn it. I hope that this cloud save. Ugh. So I have to play the whole game without this character if I keep playing it. Oh, why wasn't I paying attention? Okay. Alright, let's see. Fix this. Looks good. Okay. Browser, cloud gaming. Play. Continue anyway. Alright, let's see if it has the older save. Fuck. Man, I'm gonna be grumpy. I just have to start from Jesus Christ, that's loud. Can I not play this with a keyboard? Fuck, I just want to see if it'll load the thing. Oh my god, that's annoying. Okay.
Maybe spacebar? Spacebar?
Oh, I have to go get a controller. 2 seconds.
I feel like I should have never jumped in the Discord. I fucked this shit up. I fucked it up. I was so excited for the blue fucking wave, bro. The typhoon. The fucking blue typhoon. We just saw a crazy fucking ratio here in America, man. Fuck. Barcode, I don't know if AGI is a real thing. Like, you're looking at a real bubble. AGI is a real bubble right now. That might be like the fucking next depression, bro. You know, we have to be honest about some of this.
What?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Barcode, of course. Yeah, it's an insane bubble. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I mean, we're kind of fucking ourselves on this AI train, to be fair.
Oh my god!
I guess the part about the fucking AI bubble that kills me is that we're like we have no control over this bubble. We are just letting this computer learn itself, and we are pretending like it makes sense. But every time I watch an AI video, it doesn't make sense. It's actually fucking retarded. It's actually slow as fuck.
Oh, and now it's like, okay, you can use the thing. Now you can use the keyboard. Fuck. Let's see.
It's not going to take you
Why
back
would DeVries betray her fellow agents like that? A rhetorical.
Come on.
Let me. No. Let me. Yeah. Let me continue where I left off.
Nope.
Oh, okay. We got loads.
Nope. It's fucked. God damn it.
Chat, also, I feel like you guys need to understand, like, we're watching all of our American societies, like our civic endeavors as far as like sports companies and shit, fold right now over like betting, like true gambling fucking hiatuses. We're watching the NBA fold right now. Adam Silver's about to be getting a federal fucking indictment based on the NBA fucking gambling restrictions. UFC's doing the same thing. Dana White just got hit in a massive fucking civil suit because he was caught throwing a fight. Like we have,
I'm screwed. I'm gonna have to redo all of this. God damn it. Oh, or I could just continue without this character, I guess. Fuck.
That's retarded.
That's
insane.
Paying attention. I was not paying attention. I fucked myself. Alright, well. Might as well just keep playing the file.
Again, I know you've told me 1,000 times that it wasn't my fault, but I'm sorry, brother. I did not mean for any of this to happen to you at all. I was just coming in to talk to you, man.
No, it's good.
Fuck.
This was in my... I did this on my earlier stream. You weren't even here.
Oh, fuck. I think my buddy's calling me. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
I just had one of my friends died in a motor crash accident.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was really bad. I hold on. I'll jump back in a minute.
Man. I done fucked up. Oh man, that's so deflating. Ugh. What happened with this person? What did I miss that had this happen? Is there any comments? I guess I just move on. Fuck it. Man. That's such a bummer. Alright, what's this? Cosmic, you gave me a 2.5 hour video. This is an hour. Like, where's the important shit? Is it about the history of croutons? 4 times speed. Okay. Yeah, this is similar shit.
We are not going to get to human level AI by just scaling up LLMs. This is just not going to happen. Okay.
That's your perspective.
There's no way. Okay.
So
absolutely no way. And whatever you can hear from some of my more adventurous colleagues, it's not going to happen within the next 2 years.
So hard.
There's absolutely no way in hell to, pardon my French. The idea that we're going to have, a country of genius in the data center, that's complete BS. Right? There's absolutely no way. What we're going to have maybe is systems that are trained on sufficiently large amounts of data that any question that any reasonable person may ask will find an answer through those systems. And it would feel like you have, a PhD sitting next to you, but it's not a PhD you have next to you. It's, a system with a gigantic memory and retrieval ability, not a system that can invent solutions to new problems.
Do that?
Which is really what a PhD is. Okay, this is
That's actually the whole deal.
It's connected to this post that Thomas Wolf made, that you inventing new things requires the type of skill and abilities that you're not going to get from LLMs. So there's a big question, which is the investment that is being done now is not done for tomorrow. It's done for the next few years, and most of the investment, at least from the Meta side, is investment in infrastructure for inference. Okay, so let's imagine that by the end of the year, which is really the plan at Meta, we have 1 billion users of Meta AI through smart glasses, a standalone app, and whatever. You got to serve those people, and that's a lot of computation. So that's why you need, a lot of investment in infrastructure to be able to scale this up and, build it up over months or years.
Just require info.
And so that, that's where most of the money is going. At least on the side of companies like Meta and Microsoft and Google and potentially Amazon. Then there is, so this is just operations, essentially. Now, is there going to be the market for 1 billion people using those things regularly, even if there is no change of paradigm? And the answer is probably yes. So, even if the revolution of a new paradigm doesn't come, within 3 years, this infrastructure is going to be used. There's very little question about that. Okay, so it's a good investment, and it takes so long to set up, data centers and all that stuff that you need to get started now and plan for, progress to be continuous, so that eventually the investment is justified. But you can't afford not to do it, right? Because that would be too much of a risk to take if you have the cash.
But let's go back to what you said. The stuff today is still deeply flawed, and there have been questions about whether it's going to be used. Now, Meta is making this consumer bet, right? The consumers want to use the AI. That makes sense. OpenAI has 400 million users of ChatGPT. Meta has 3-4 billion. I mean, basically, if you have a phone
well,
on
you have
Earth,
3 point something billion users, 600 million users of Meta AI.
Right. Okay. So more than ChatGPT.
Yeah, but but it's not used as much as ChatGPT. Right. So the users are not as intense.
As active. But basically, the idea that Meta can get to 1 billion consumer users, that seems reasonable. But the thing is, a lot of this investment has been made with the idea that this will be useful to enterprises, not just a consumer app. And there's a problem because, like we've been talking about, it's not good enough yet. You look at deep research. This is something Benedict Evans has brought up. Deep research is pretty good, but it might only get you 95% of the way there, and maybe 5% of it hallucinates. So if you have a 100-page research report and 5% of it is wrong and you don't know what 5%, that's a problem. And similarly, in enterprises today, every enterprise is trying to figure out how to make AI useful to them, generative AI useful to them, and other types of AI. But only 10% or 20% maybe of proof of concepts make it out the door into production because it's either too expensive or it's fallible. So if we are getting to the top here, what do you anticipate is going to happen with everything that has been pushed in the anticipation that it is going to get even better from here?
Well, so again, it's a question of timeline, right? When are those systems going to become sufficiently reliable and intelligent so that the deployment is made easier? But I mean, this situation you're describing, that beyond the impressive demos, actually deploying systems that are reliable is where things tend to falter in the use of computers and technologies, and particularly AI. This is not new. It's basically why we had super impressive autonomous driving demos 10 years ago, but we still don't have level 5 self-driving cars, right? It's the last mile that's really difficult, so to speak, for cars. It's the last few. That was not deliberate. The last few percent of reliability, which makes a system practical, and how you integrate it with sort of existing systems and blah blah blah, and how it makes users of it more efficient, if you want, or more reliable or whatever. That's where it's difficult, and this is why if we go back several years and we look what happened with IBM Watson. Okay, so Watson was going to be the thing that IBM was going to push and generate tons of revenue by having Watson learn about medicine and then be deployed in every hospital. And it was basically a complete failure and was sold for parts, right? And cost a lot of money to IBM, including the CEO. And what happens is that actually deploying those systems in situations where they are reliable and actually help people and don't hurt the natural conservatism of the labor force, this is where things become complicated. We're seeing the same, the process we're seeing now with the difficulty of deploying AI system is not new. It's happened absolutely at all times. This is also why, some of your listeners perhaps are too young to remember this, but there was a big wave of interest in AI in the 1980s, early 1980s, around expert systems, and the hardest job in the 1980s was going to be knowledge engineer, and your job was going to be to sit next to an expert and then turn the knowledge of the expert into rules and facts that would then be fed to a inference engine that would be able to kind of derive new facts and answer questions and blah blah blah. Big wave of interest. The Japanese government started a big program called Fifth Generation Computer. The hardware was going to be designed to actually take care of that, and blah blah blah. Mostly a failure. There was kind of the wave of interest kind of died in the mid-90s about this, and a few companies were successful, but basically for a narrow set of applications for which you could actually reduce human knowledge to a bunch of rules, and for which it was economically feasible to do so. But the wide-ranging impact on all of society and industry was just not there. And so that's the danger of AI all the time. I mean, the signals are clear that still LLMs with all the bells and whistles actually play an important role, if nothing else, for information retrieval. Most companies want to have some sort of internal experts that know all the internal documents so that any employee can ask any question. We have one at Meta. It's called MetaMate. It's really cool. It's very useful.
Yeah, and I'm not suggesting that that modern AI is not, or modern generative AI is not useful, or I'm asking purely that there's been a lot of money that's been invested into expecting this stuff to effectively achieve God-level capabilities. And we both are talking about how like there's, potentially diminishing returns here. And then what happens if there's that timeline mismatch, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
And this is the last question I'll ask about it because I feel like we have so much else to cover. But I feel like timeline mismatches, that might be personal to you. You and I first spoke 9 years ago, which is crazy now, 9 years ago. And, about how in the early days you had an idea for how AI should be structured, and you couldn't even get a seat at the conferences. And then eventually, with the right amount of when the right amount of compute came around, those ideas started working, and then the entire AI field took off based off of your idea that you worked on with Bengio and Hinton, but
and a bunch of others
and many others. But for the sake of efficiency, we'll say go look it up. But just talking about those mismatched timelines, when there have been overhyped moments in the AI field, maybe with the expert systems that you were just talking about, and they don't pan out the way that people expect, the AI field goes into what's called AI winter.
Well, there's a backlash, yeah.
Correct. And so if we are potentially approaching this moment of mismatched timelines, do you fear that there could be another winter now, given the amount of investment, given the fact that there's going to be potentially diminishing returns with the main way of training these things, and maybe we'll add in the fact that the market is the stock market looks like it's going through a bit of a downturn right now. Now, that's a variable, probably the third most important variable of what we're talking about, but it has to factor.
So, I think, there's certainly a question of timing there, but I think if we try to dig a little bit deeper, as I said before, if you think that we're going to get to human-level AI by just training on more data and scaling up LLMs, you're making a mistake. So if you're an investor and you invested in a company that told you we're going to get to human-level AI and PhD level by just training on more data and with a few tricks, I don't know if you're going to use your shirt, but that was probably not a good idea. However, there are ideas about how to go forward and have systems that are capable of doing what every intelligent animal and human are capable of doing, and that current AI systems are not capable of doing. And I'm talking about understanding the physical world, having persistent memory, and being able to reason and plan. Those are the four characteristics that need to be there, and that requires systems that can acquire common sense, that can learn from natural sensors like video as opposed to just text, just human-produced data, and that's a big challenge. I mean, I've been talking about this for many years now, and saying this is where the challenge is. This is what we have to figure out, and my group and I have, or people working with me and others who have listened to me, are making progress along this line of systems that can be trained to understand how the world works on video, for example, systems that can use mental models of how the physical world works to plan sequences of actions to arrive at a particular goal. So we have kind of early results of this kind of systems. And there are people at DeepMind working on similar things, and there are people in various universities working on this. The question is, when is this going to go from interesting research papers demonstrating a new capability with a new architecture to, architectures at scale that, are practical for a lot of applications and can find solutions to new problems without being trained to do it, etc. And, it's not going to happen within the next 3 years, but it may happen with, between 3 to 5 years, something like that. And that's kind of corresponds to, the sort of ramp up that we see in investment. Now, whether other, so that's the first thing. Now, the second thing that's important is that there's not going to be one secret magic bullet that one company or one group of people is going to invent that is going to just solve the problem. It's going to be a lot of different ideas, a lot of effort, some principles around which to base this that some people may not subscribe to and will go in a direction that is, will turn out to be a dead end. So, there's not going to be like a day, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 10 days, 20 days, 30 days, 40 days, 50 days, 60 days, 70 days, 80 days, 90 days, 100 days, 200 days, 300 days, 400 days, 500 days, 600 days, 700 days, 800 days, 900 days, 1,000 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 days, before which there is no AGI and after which we have AGI. This is not going to be an event. It's going to be continuous conceptual ideas that, as time goes by, are going to be made bigger and to scale and going to work better. And it's not going to come from a single entity. It's going to come from the entire research community across the world. And the people who share their research are going to move faster than the ones that don't. And so if you think that there is some startup somewhere with 5 people who has discovered the secret of AGI and you should invest 5 billion in them, you're making a huge mistake.
Why has generative AI ingested all the world's knowledge?
Tiny humans.
Okay, thanks a lot. So after a career spent mostly in quantum computing, I'm now sort of moonlighting at OpenAI. They asked me to think about how theoretical computer science could be used to help prevent AI from destroying the world. I haven't figured it out yet. I do still have another 6 months. But I find myself thinking more and more, not just about how do we prevent this from going wrong, but also about what if it goes right? What if it goes exactly like it's supposed to and can just produce any intellectual product as well as we can or better? And what are we for in the resulting world? I don't have to belabor for this audience, I think, what has happened in AI over the past few years. We now, to some approximation, have the science fiction machine from Star Trek, right? You talk to it in English, you ask it what to do, some percentage of the time it does it. And, this is, despite, how unlikely this seemed to almost all of us 5 years ago, it's so unlikely that many people are still in denial about it, okay? But I think the even more surprising thing than what has happened is how it has happened. What maybe not everyone appreciates is that the core ideas that are powering the current AI revolution are things that have been known for generations. Okay, so neural networks, backpropagation, gradient descent, prediction via compression. I learned all this stuff when I was an undergrad in computer science in the 90s. Okay, but we also learned then that neural nets were just not that impressive. They didn't work that well, and all of the wisest people said, well, if you just take something that doesn't work and scale it up by a factor of 1,000,000, it's still not going to work. The true key to AI is going to be to deeply understand the nature of intelligence, and once we've done that, then we can we'll be able to see why a human-level AI could have fit on a floppy disk. There were just a few nutcases like Ray Kurzweil who would go around showing these graphs that would say, well, look, the amount of compute that you can do, per second, per dollar, is on an exponential trajectory, right? That's one form of Moore's law. And if you just extrapolate forward, then by the 2020s or so, there should be about as much compute available as some crude estimate of what the human neocortex is doing. And that is when we should expect that magic will happen, okay? And computers will suddenly understand language and be intelligent. And almost all of us said, that sounds like the stupidest thesis that we've ever heard. Like, you have no, theoretical principle to believe that, just the sheer amount of compute is alone sufficient. Now, I'm a firm believer that, that like one of the key dicta of science is that you let the world tell you when you're wrong, okay? And you don't make up some elaborate justification for why you actually weren't wrong. So I think that's the situation here. So, but this is Moore's law hasn't ended, right? So, we're still getting more and more compute. So you might wonder, where is this going? What will GPT-8 be able to do? Will I just be able to ask it to solve any of the greatest unsolved?
So here's what I'm gonna do, because I fucked that save. I'm just gonna offline. I'm gonna speed run back to where we were. That's fucking annoying.
Problems in math or science, like prove the Riemann hypothesis. And it'll say, sure, I can help you with that, and just spit out a proof. By the way, I asked GPT to cooperate with me in illustrating that, which it happily did, but then hastened to add that it's only kidding, and that the Riemann hypothesis remains an open problem. So, this is one possibility, but then, what about beyond that? I mean, what if, as some people predict, AI would become to us
like
as we are
dailies.
to chimpanzees, right? Well, how...
I'll pick that up in a second. I feel like doing dailies now because I'm pissed off. Alright. No, couldn't possibly. Alright. To butcher. There it is. Make a hash of. From Clue? Yeah! What up, Cinderella? Nope. Oh, one away. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, we're gonna lose. Damn. Oh. Rainbow raincoat. Oh, fuck. Okay, so that was this year. And this is like a 41st. And fashion. 7th. 41st and 7th. Yeah, it's like right next to Times Square. Boom. Oh, yeah. What up? Perfect score. Thank you very much. Easy one, to be fair, but still. Oh, now I'm going to drop points. I think so. What does this look like? These tanks. These, like... Is this World War II era? Nice. Nice! Colner. Leipzig. And let's see if Colner is. Ba, 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 ba. Somewhere in Leipzig. Or if it's just another place. I think this looks like it's in Germany, right? Pretty sure this is Germany. Like the 70s or 80s, maybe? 70s, I'm getting. There's no, that looks like German. What my guess? Guess Leipzig, because that's the only clue I have. Early 70s, 76. Yeah, how was I fucking supposed to figure that one out? It's okay, still a good score. Herald Sun. This is all in English. Australia, Camberwell Junction. Camberwell Junction. Wonder if that's something I can see from far up. Alright. Probably not going to be part of Sydney, right? International School of Massage. This is going to be some fucking random ass little town in the middle of nowhere, Australia. And somehow, I'm supposed to find the motherfucker. The fuck? Who fucking knows where this place is? I bet you bring this to an Australian, they'll probably be like, I have no idea, mate. You know, I've never heard of that place before in my life. I mean, it's called Junction. Maybe that's like a clue. It's like in the middle of nowhere. It's got like fucking train tracks running through it. Get across the country. Fuck me. I just got to guess. But Australia's fucking huge. Ugh. I hate dropping points. I had a perfect score in the first one. Everything is such fucking weird ass names in Australia. Okay. Okay. We take a quick jaunt across the middle just in case. But this doesn't feel like the middle Australia, right? This feels like an interesting place of Australia. The Age, Herald Sun. Tats Lotto? Wait, is it Camberwell Junction or is it Tats Lotto? Is the name of see, now I'm fucking confusing myself. Camberwell Junction News Agency. Back through to Riversdale Road. So Riversdale Road is somewhere fucking important. Man. What the fuck do I know? What do I know about Australian roads? I don't know shit. Fuck this one. Watch, it's not even gonna be Australia. Maybe some random ass place in the middle of nowhere. No, it's gotta be Australia, right? I don't know. I'll guess this because it has a funny fucking name. And the cars look like the 80s. 98? Oh my god, bro. Fuck off. That's in Melbourne? How is that in Melbourne? There's no clue that it... Fuck all of this. Who the fuck is this? Gotta have nice beaches like that. Yeah, that looks alright. To have like a big boat area. Is that the Ghanaian flag? No, that might be Senegal. Hang on. Cosmic. Is this the Senegalese flag? I mean, it looks like they got a lot of these kinds of boats there. I think I might be on to something. Where do they have, like, the most of those boats? In Dakar, right? Probably. Let's see. We won literally every single race, Cinderella, across the country. And like every county shifted blue. Yep. Blue tsunami, baby. Not the time, bro. Seriously? Not the time, Cinderella. Like, yeah, we can be critical of, like, shit they do that we don't like, but, like, we need to be focused on fucking winning. Wait until we win the presidency and, like, houses of Congress. Then we can be critical. Oh. Maybe here. And it's going to be pretty recent. What kind of phones are we looking at here? I don't know. We guessed 23. It's 2016. Did I make it? I think I did. Oh, thank God. That's so annoying, because I had a perfect score on the first one. I'm so annoyed right now. Yeah, but when the alternative is Trump, like, we need to fucking win, okay? That's what I'm concerned with right now. When we're winning, then we have time to spend... Then we'll have, like, all the time we need to be critical of the Dems. But now it's not the time. Shut up, Sleepy. Really? Now? You think now is the time? No! No! This is proving that hating on Trump is working. What do you mean? We can do both of those things at the same time. Yeah, I'll tell you what. If we win the midterms next year and take back one of the houses of Congress, then sure. Then sure. Let's focus on that stuff, right? Because then we don't have to worry about as much about them doing shit in Congress. But for now, no, we should be focused on Trump. What is your plan for healthcare, sir? What is your plan? Raid Gaza. Ooh, get him, Daniel. Tell you plan. In 2 weeks, I'll tell all of you. He's right. Give it to me. Find it somewhere, and I'll add it. Oh, yeah. How much earlier? Barcode. Can you drop it in here again? There it is. Okay. I'll add it. Done. Refresh your pages. Oh, you did? Bummer, dude. Ooh, Turkey Tom posted a video on Miskiff. That could be interesting. Just a joke, FBI guy. What? Who's Steam who will hold? Yeah, true, but if he keeps holding that Steam, then there you go, right? Like, if he's our guy right now, unless someone else pops up, I'm fine with him. Yeah, but if not, then we move on to whoever's next. I don't understand why. Like, that's what primaries are for. Let's see if
in
this
2012,
is
the first election I could ever.
Let's see if this is interesting. Oh, or a light interview. What is this? Adam Friedland? I don't know, man. He's kind of annoying me. I don't know. This looks interesting to me. How I joined and left the far right. I'll put it on 1.5. And then maybe we'll watch the Adam Friedland thing afterwards.
Vote in. I voted for Mitt Romney. In 2016, I supported Donald Trump. In 2018, I wanted America to be a white nation. And in 2024, I was genuinely excited to vote for Joe Biden for a second time. My political journey is one that I think not many people have been on. So I figured I'd share my story because every single take that I have seen on social media these past 2 weeks does not resonate with me or my experience at all. Also, to be cute, I made this little board so we can track my political journey together. For those who don't know, this is the political compass, where the y-axis is authoritarian to libertarian, and the x-axis is left to right. Normally economic, but for this we'll do social. I started my political journey somewhat conservative. Let's say here. I was raised Catholic and actually went to church every Sunday. Raised as such, around 13, I opposed abortion and gay marriage. Growing up in the 90s, I was also a huge nerd. I read every fantasy book I could get my hands on, Seventh Tower, Del Toro series, and Redwall because Mouse Jesus, as well as sci-fi novels like Artemis Fowl and the like. I was also really, really into video games, though I only had a couple of them. The game I played the most, and to this day, my favorite game, is a JRPG called Radiata Stories, which I almost guarantee none of you have heard of. So here's where we start. I really only care about two issues, and my hobbies are fantasy and escapism. My high school was fairly political, and I'd have a lot of arguments with my classmates. My friend group was fairly liberal, but none of them really seemed to have a problem with my more conservative ideas. Back in my hometown, I'd actually been a theater kid. Not to brag or anything, but I'd been the lead in my middle school musical twice. I continued my theatrical pursuits in high school, and in a twist anyone could have seen coming, I ended up hanging out with quite a lot of gay and queer kids. I saw the relationships they'd form, and they didn't really feel any different from the relationships I saw straight kids forming around the same time. That, coupled with becoming friends with them, shifted my politics a bit. Although I'm fairly certain there was a period where I was in the civil unions are okay, but not gay marriage phase, and I can't remember if that ended in high school or college. But
I remember when that
high school
was
also
the
my
thing
first
people
interaction
said
with
a
a trans
lot.
person. One of my friends, who I had assumed was just a cis lesbian, told me at one point that they were actually a man. The really funny thing is, though, I totally accepted this and moved on. I think I even said something like, "No, well, that makes sense. My brain is a female brain, so it would make sense that you could have been born with a male brain in a female body." In the modern context, it's kind of funny to think of a person being opposed to gay marriage but accepting of trans people. But the truth is, I had just never been exposed to the concept. So when I first met someone who was trans, I really had no reason to object to it. In 2008, I supported John McCain for president, though obviously I was too young to vote. I supported him because of his plan to build nuclear reactors, and I supported that because I understood the economic implications, and not just because I thought a lot of nuclear reactors sounded cool. When Obama won, I was disappointed, but I took it in stride as best I could, and life went on. It was in high school I also got really online in a way that I hadn't before. In fact, the B-board on 4chan, got really big at my school. As a result, me and my friends developed a fairly dark and edgy sense of humor, although, to be fair, it was mostly just this meme. My identification with the label nerd also really solidified around this time. My friends and I would get together for LANs of Dota, Counter-Strike, and even Halo, games which to this day I am completely trash at. But it was really nice to find a community of nerds who liked the same stuff I did. By the time I graduated high school, I had changed quite a bit politically. I was maybe here around that time. Still fairly conservative on a lot of
let's
issues,
see if
but
he
a bit
ends
more
up being
libertarian.
like a
Being
far
interested in
lefty.
theater and film as well at this point, I decided to go to Los Angeles for college, also because I really seemed to love blue states for some reason. And this was around when the Occupy Wall Street movement was popping off. For those who don't know, the Occupy Wall Street was a movement of
I
people
went
who were
down
upset
there. There's
that
a
the banks
picture
had
of me
never really
down
been
there.
punished for the 2008 financial crisis, instead getting a famous bailout. I vaguely knew the economy had tanked right when I entered high school, but I was in high school. I didn't really care about the economy, so I never really looked into it. Even though Occupy was undoubtedly a left-wing movement, it didn't really drag me to the left, per se. If anything, it just made me less trustful of institutions, something which, to be fair, I was kind of already leaning towards. Regardless, college started, and I made a bunch of new friends. Even got into my first
I was
real
like fucking
relationship
20 years old.
With a thriving social life, I found myself
I was about
online
to
less
turn
and less,
21.
and most of my
I was just
friends
a
weren't on
dumb
the
kid.
scary anonymous image board, so I got into Reddit. I kept up my trend of arguing politics with my friends, as most of them, again, were quite liberal. In 2012, when Obama was up for re-election, I supported Mitt Romney. Interestingly, I supported Mitt Romney because of his healthcare plan. Because as governor of Massachusetts, he instituted this thing called Romney Care. I'm fairly certain my girlfriend supported Obama, but we watched the election results come in together, and even though Romney lost, we were able to still, have a civil discussion and be okay with each other. End of sophomore year, I'm like, here, maybe. Not really much movement, mostly just a little bit more libertarian. That summer, my girlfriend and I broke up. This was rough for a number of reasons, but to be fair, it had been my idea. That, combined with my naturally argumentative nature, meant that my friends started to sour on me. Eventually it got so bad, I didn't feel comfortable in my own dorm room, which I shared with 2 of them at the time. As I was not interacting with people as much, I ended up spending more and more time online. And then Gamergate happened. This is an important part of my story, but if you've basically just heard too much about Gamergate and you're sick of it, feel free to skip to here. For everyone else, let me set the stage, but with a caveat.
I mean, it's not
the version of
surprising,
Gamergate that I'm about to present to you is the
That
version
tracks.
that I believed at the time.
And then
Since
he
then, I have
was
changed my
happy
view
to take credit for it when it was successful.
on what happened, but for the story I'm telling, my version of events is much more important than reality. Gamergate, as I understood it, was about a woman named Zoe Quinn who had released a video game called Depression Quest. This was a fairly bad game, but it received pretty good reviews, which wasn't super weird at the time because gaming journalism was already something of a joke at this point. However, chat logs were leaked by her ex-boyfriend where she admitted to sleeping with 5 other guys, some of them while she was still with her ex, and one of them had reviewed Depression Quest. This is what I thought at the time. And I wasn't even actually mad at Zoe Quinn. I was actually mad at the guy who supposedly reviewed her game, Nathan Grayson. This culminated in many posts attacking Zoe, attacking Nathan, attacking pretty much anyone involved in the story. However, the interesting part is I didn't actually care at this point. Because again, to me and many others, gaming journalism was dead. There was really no point in it anyway. But then threads started getting pruned and comments started getting deleted. Mods even posting about how talking about Gamergate wasn't allowed. This happened even on 4chan of all places, on V. Blue board indeed. Very quickly for me, this became an issue of censorship. Why was 4chan, this bastion of free speech and libertarianism of all places, not allowing people to talk about a current event? In addition, you'd have people like Anita Sarkeesian going on shows like The Colbert Report, at the time one of my favorite shows, and talking about how actually we were all just a bunch of angry gamer guys who wanted women out of our space.
Why do you think women are being threatened in this exchange?
I think women are perceived as threatening because we are asking for games to be more inclusive. We're asking for games to acknowledge that we exist and that we love games.
Why not just have a separate game? Have separate but equal games.
This is a community I'd basically been a part of my whole life, and a community I'd suffered to be a part of. I was a gamer when it wasn't cool to be a gamer, when you got made fun of for it. And to then be told that I'm making the space worse, that I'm keeping women out of this space, naturally, I just really started to hate the people telling me that. This is one of the first times I started to feel genuinely crazy, because I felt as though I had very legitimate concerns, but was told that I was sexist for even voicing those concerns, which, again, were concerns against men, not women. And this started to bleed out into my real life, too. I remember having a conversation with one of my teachers in college from a media studies course, which was basically like, let's watch a film and let's analyze it, but not from like a filmmaking perspective, from like a cultural perspective. And we were watching Kill Bill Volume 1, at the time one of my favorite films. And we were specifically analyzing the end of the movie. And my teacher made the claim that the end of this movie was racist and enforced imperialist ideas because the white woman triumphed in the samurai sword fight over the Asian woman. And the Asian woman even says something like, you bested me or something like that. I raise my hand and point out that the Asian character, played by Lucy Liu, is very explicitly supposed to be half Chinese, half American. And she just said to me, well, she's Asian, so she's closer than the white woman. And any Western audience watching this scene is going to have her interpretation and not mine. And I don't think I could think of a response, and I think the conversation just continued. I can't really remember what happened after that, but instances like that became more and more common, and I so often would be like, just in my head about what I was doing. So naturally, just to feel like a shred of sanity, I began to turn to spaces that did talk about this kind of stuff. Around this time, I think I was watching a lot of like a Sargon of Akkad and Internet Aristocrat, who's now known as Mr. Metacritic. And these people were talking about Gamergate in a way that resonated with my understanding of what was going on in the world at the time. Sargon of Akkad was interesting because he was from the UK. And so as time went on, he started talking about this wave of
Atlantic garbage
Europe and sort of destroying European culture, which also got me into watching people like Lauren Southern, who famously also was opposed to
fucking Lauren Southern.
So now I've graduated college and I'm, let's say, around here. I still think of myself as libertarian, but with my thoughts on immigration and feminism, I've certainly shifted a bit more to the right. Over the course of senior year, I've been able to get an internship at Machinima, at the time, internet nerd mech. I also reconnected with some people that I had known throughout college, but hadn't been part of that kind of core friend group. And I ended up kind of getting welcomed into their friend group, so hey, I had friends again. With my bills taken care of and a bunch of friends, again, I wasn't spending so much time on the internet. As I still loved talking politics, I'd talk it with them all the time. But this time, the result was I actually started to shift a bit more to the left, or at least the center. One of them actually convinced me to start supporting unions, something I've been quite opposed to up until that time, by pointing out that the concept of collective bargaining was actually fairly important when you're talking about balancing power structures, appealing to my more libertarian nature. Because of my experience in high school, I'd also never stopped supporting women's rights. And I honestly think that that specific opinion is what allowed so many of my much more liberal friends to sort of look past a lot of my other politics, because to their mind, at least, I supported this one position that they considered extremely important. So honestly, a pretty big shift. I think right now is probably around here, let's say. Remember, these are all just kind of approximations anyway. In the 2016 presidential primaries, my friends all went for Bernie Sanders, and I did as well. Especially when I heard about him talking about breaking up the banks, it was like I was suddenly back in 2011, you know? Occupy would not die. When he finally conceded to Hillary Clinton, my friends and I were heartbroken. You know, we had really thought this man was about to bring about a revolution.
And then in comes
Trump. At the end of the day, we all just resigned ourselves that, you know, we had to vote for her. Because
at various points, I've been in different parts of it. I don't know. I'd probably be pretty center, but towards the left, well, like mostly liberal versus authoritarian, like pretty hard liberal versus authoritarian.
It was going to be Donald Trump. Remember, up to this point, I actually had very few political convictions. At this point, all that was really left was supporting gay marriage, being against abortion, being against censorship, and being anti-establishment. Trump also talked about a big, beautiful border wall, and I began to think back to what I had learned about immigration when I was listening to Sargon of Akkad. It had already destroyed Europe, and I really didn't want it to destroy America either, so even this policy sounded pretty good to me. Throw in congressional term limits, slashing government spending, frankly, slashing the government as a whole. Anti-establishment me was liking Trump more and more. By the time the first presidential debate rolled around, I was pretty sure I was going to be voting for the guy. And soon enough, I was arguing with my friends and my family, and frankly, anyone who would argue with me about Donald Trump. And everyone kind of started giving me the side eye. To everyone around me, I was suddenly incredibly far right, but I knew I wasn't. I was a centrist, if not a little bit to the left. And all this hate and censorship was being directed at me for supporting a guy who, in my mind, was closer to Bernie Sanders than Hillary Clinton. One of my friends, my ex-roommate actually, worked with me at the time. I can still recall how shocked he was when he found out I supported Trump. And as he told the rest of my old friend group, slowly they started to distance themselves from it. And then Trump won. When returns came in, I was still at work, and everyone around me at work was obviously quite upset, and I sort of was having to hide my power level. But I was getting texts from friends.
No, you're thinking of liberals in the sense of like being on the left. I'm talking about like liberalism is liberalism and authoritarianism are diametrically opposed.
Trying to be like, you know, oh, tell me this won't be as bad. I even had a girl I'd been seeing at the long distance reach back out to try and reconnect with me. It feels bad because now I'm on the other side, and especially in 2024, I now sympathize with the people who are heartbroken because now I feel like I know what that feels like a little more. But unless you were a Trump supporter, man, you just cannot imagine how magical that night was. I still to this day will go back and look up the Dame Pesos election meltdown video or the the year 4chan 1 or stuff like that, just to like relive a taste of just how magical that night was. You can't understand what it was like to have so many people calling you crazy for years and years, and suddenly it feels like you were right the whole time. But barely a week after he was elected, I had lost basically every friend that I'd had. And the feeling of being ignored didn't go away, even with my candidate in office. But it was so much worse this time because I had literally no one to talk to about it outside of my family. And even they weren't my biggest fans at this point. It felt nefarious. It felt nefarious. It was like every issue that I cared about, whether it was Gamergate or Occupy or Trump, just the media itself as a machine would try and quash these issues that I cared so much about.
Or rehab the left wing of American politics to mean more liberal, the actual way it means.
Anytime I cared about anything, I would be made to feel crazy, even though Trump had shown me that I wasn't always crazy. And it got in my head so much that by 2018, I didn't even support Trump. Because I wanted America to be a white nation.
Yeah.
Let's look at how I got here. I had already been consuming content like Steven Crowder, Ben Shapiro, and Comrade Pool. And around this time, that coupled
Comrade Pool
made me feel like masculinity, and specifically white masculinity, was
called him Comrade Pool. Okay, this guy might be based.
Or
let's
trying
find
to
out.
Be suppressed in some form. I felt like white men were the villain in everyone's story. Like I was the villain in everyone's story. Remember the "it's okay to be white" thing? This was an overwhelming success for the right-wingers, because the point of this was to get these signs taken down. The point was to claim that the reason the signs were taken down is because there was no subtext here. There was no threat, implicit or otherwise. It was that the thing people were against was whiteness itself as a concept. Something that really endeared right-wing spaces to me was the comedy, something that's still a very potent weapon of right-wing propaganda. The OK symbol is a Nazi sign? Well, I guess AOC must be a Nazi then. I remember there were all these funny memes, like one was about like standing up to the man, and it basically was just, saying, oh, Israel's not legitimate. And there was this one meme I really remember about like wooden doors at Auschwitz. What? So the wooden doors meme is Holocaust denial. The claim is that there are...
It's not, liberalism isn't about greater good. Like, if we're talking liberalism, it's about, like, individualism and freedom and, like, the ability to live your life as you want to without the government telling you how to live your life. Yeah, civil liberties.
Wooden doors to the gas chambers that you can find at Auschwitz, as obviously wood, is not airtight. This doesn't make any sense, and therefore these gas chambers must not have actually been gas chambers, but regular showers. Nowadays, if you Google this, you will find a billion things debunking it, but one of the nasty things about conspiracy theories is they're always 2 steps ahead of you. And as a result, when I was Googling...
The concept of free speech is a liberal idea.
This stuff, there was nothing out there.
I am your wife! I'm the greatest good you are ever gonna get! Do I really have to lay it out? Yeah, because it still sounds like you're confusing liberal left-wing with liberalism, like the concept.
Nazis pushing their propaganda. I ended up looking up other stuff, and by the end of it all, I had some really serious questions about World War II. I had actually gone so extreme that not only was I anti-Trump, I was genuinely depressed because this might be the best we'd ever get. Things just started to feel hopeless. It felt like all the problems I saw in the world, me, my race, my culture,
the absolute minimum necessary, protecting those liberal rights of the people, ensuring the people aren't taken advantage of. That's how much.
Sure.
Making sure that there's a safety net. In some cases, if you ask me, healthcare.
We're just going to be destroyed, and I couldn't do anything about it. I've seen a lot of videos talking about stuff like this. I've never seen a video from someone who's gone as far as I have, which is why I really wanted to share my story, because this was my lowest point. This is literally the worst I had ever been in my entire life, bar none. And what I want to talk about now is how I found my way back. To reiterate, started conservative, then supported Bernie, then supported Trump, and now wanted the ghost of Hitler to come back and take over America. Good? Good. The first person to really get me back into a more sane place of mind is my aunt, who
I don't know why we're talking about institutions. Liberalism is a concept. This is not, we're not talking about institutions right now.
A lot too. She had continued to talk to me during this entire time period, even debating with me about stuff, including certain events during World War II. My conversations with my aunt continued mostly because I felt like she could actually listen to me. She could actually hear what I was saying and respond to me in ways that, to me at least, indicated that she understood what I was saying. And I remember I was having an argument with her about how 6 million seemed a little too high. It was probably closer to 200,000.
I mean, it would depend on the belief. Yeah. It's not going to be... Yeah, collectivism, exactly. It's not going to be like saying that you're a 100% liberal, like completely liberal, is going to be more like libertarian, right? Like hardcore libertarian, which I don't necessarily consider myself. Which is like, oh yeah, we should be able to do whatever we want all the time at any time. The government should have no intervention at all.
And I very specifically mentioned the wooden doors. While at first she just sort of stumbled around saying things like, why does this...
Yeah. But you understand, like, you can... Yeah, if you are taking, like, a 100% maximalist position, yeah. But, like, that's not a realistic interpretation of the way someone who believes in liberalism is going to apply that.
Does even matter? And then,
except for the extremes,
is a number, why does it matter how big the number was? And finally she asked me, where did you read about this? And I remember going online after our conversation, obviously, to look this stuff up so that the next time I talked to her, I would have it all laid out for her in plain black and white. And I couldn't actually find the website.
Because, Cosmic, because you're saying that in order for a society to be liberal, those values have to be protected by the government? Yeah. Two-way people who think it allows them to own an M1. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Not just in the extremes, those just highlight the boundaries. Help me understand what your wider point here is, Cinderella, because I'm not quite understanding the point you're trying to make.
I found the first time. And when I kept digging, I found someone who showed me how absolutely wrong I was. So I started doing more research and found out that actually wooden doors had been proposed by people who were working for the company that was making Zyklon B around this time. And suddenly I realized everything I had thrown away my friends for, everything I had espoused, everything I had basically ruined my entire life over was just a lie.
What do you know?
And that really sucked. This period of my life was actually worse than when I was a Nazi, because when I was a Nazi, at least I had a community. I had people I could talk to. Now I straight up had no one. Like, imagine going back to your friends and saying, hey, sorry.
This is why you don't become a Nazi. Because when you inevitably wake up from it and realize they've been lying to you the whole time, you're kind of fucked.
No, I was a Nazi. Totally not a Nazi anymore. Let's be friends again. None of them wanted to see me again. I started, of course, being attacked by the very people that I used to felt I belonged with, and suddenly I realized there was a lot less love in this community than I had thought there was. And once I realized all of this had been a lie...
Wait, how do you know he's lying?
Might have been a lie. And it turns out it was a lot. So I started doing my own research. In the end, I ended up tearing down basically every single one of my beliefs and building up my entire worldview from scratch. I realized that some institutions were actually good and even necessary for society to function. I realized that 2008, while it wasn't entirely the fault of the banks, more importantly, breaking them up wouldn't really have addressed the underlying issues that caused that crisis. My views on immigration changed as I realized that their contribution to the economy was a lot greater than I thought. And I even started...
No, I mean, what he's saying right now doesn't sound like tanky work, Daniel. It sounds like he's going in the right direction.
Thinking of immigration as an economic market in and of itself, people sorting themselves into the areas where they could find the greatest amount of opportunity. And lastly, for race and women, well, here's a photo of my wedding day, so I'll let you figure out how that one went. Just to be clear, though, this
you
was
married a black chick!
Not a quick process. Probably wasn't until the end of 2019 that I really was in a more kind of central place. And by 2020, sure enough, I was...
Anybody's vulnerable to becoming an authoritarian. Nobody is, like, safe from it.
Riding with Biden. And that's basically the end of my political journey. I'm essentially here to this day, although my friends describe me as a centrist by average of extremes, as opposed to anyone who actually has centrist positions. But let's now talk about what I believe the left can do to help men who are in the position I was in just a few years ago.
Firstly, let's acknowledge something. My path out of the far right is not one we can expect most people to follow. It involved a lot of
what I was saying is don't become a Nazi or a
people just
tank.
genuinely don't seem to like to do that. Looking back, most of my more radical positions weren't things I reasoned or researched my way into. They were usually just the positions of a community I was a part of that I had joined because they were talking about a complete...
Are you wanting my saying that anybody can succumb to bootlicking? Yeah, anybody can be a fucking idiot. We're all retarded at some point, okay? If you end up down the wrong path, learning the wrong things in the wrong position, you never know what you're going to learn. It's incumbent upon you to make sure that you know enough not to go down that road. Bro, I'm sorry. Like, if you don't think what I'm saying is correct, you've lived a very sheltered life.
Unrelated issue that I cared about. Even when I drifted a little more to the left, it was because of the conversations I was having with my friends or the community I was a part of. And therein lies both a problem and a path forward. The problem is that you're fighting against the inertia of communal conditioning. But the path forward is that most of these communities are online these days, which means there are fantastic avenues to reach out to men, both before and during radicalization. Though I didn't talk about it as much, my incel phase was brought about by the very real issues I, as a man, faced when I was dating. Like, here's a great example. There's a fear in a lot of these communities of men who have never had sex that if they're ever alone with a woman, she'll try to ruin his life by falsely Me-Tooing him.
From what I read on the internet, I read that it's unsafe to even be in the same room as like a woman without a third party.
I think a lot of times this purely gets chalked up to a hyperfixation on a small number of instances. But in my opinion, there's actually a deeper underlying concern there, and it's one men don't get to talk about a lot. Namely, that it's really hard to be the pursuer in romantic situations. It's difficult to know things like when should you approach someone and when shouldn't you? How can you show interest without seeming desperate? And how do you take the initiative without making them feel pressure? Men do need spaces to talk about these kind of issues. And as much as you might say, oh, well, men already have spaces, in my experience, they don't. And if they already did, how did Andrew Tate explode in popularity? Remember, the main thing the guy says to men is how to get women.
Look at that. Just shave your fucking head, bro.
How did
Jesus. Good Lord. Oh, I guess that was he was shaving his head. That was in jail, right? Yeah, because you got the Romanian cops behind him.
Remember, the main thing the guy sells to young men is how to get women. And it's not helpful when people say, oh, don't go to, the red pill space. They're bad. They'll teach you bad habits. And then you say, oh, okay, good to know. I won't go there. So where should I go? And everyone's just like, just be yourself, bro. Men will just find other spaces where they can have those conversations. And some of those spaces will have underlying agendas. A large part of my journey towards radicalization was uncritically accepting misinformation. And I think, in general...
Hey, Arthur, you really think someone will go on the internet and just lie?
Misinformation is good, but you're always going to be one step behind them. Now, personally, I think this is just people getting used to the internet. Anytime any new mode of communication comes out, misinformation spreads with it as a result. Encouraging critical thinking, trying to get people to interface with the internet as a not necessarily trustworthy medium. These kinds of things will come with time as people get more used to it. But a much larger part of that is building spaces that are comfortable with engaging in these kinds of conversations, even when your conversation partner is someone you might personally find deplorable. I know there's a lot of people on the left who say, they hate engaging with the right, it's very tiring, they hate, combating all the misinformation. But the problem is people on the right do not have similar qualms about engaging with the left. One thing of caution, though, is I think these spaces have to not be political, at least at first. I've seen a lot of people say stuff like, we need a Joe Rogan of the left. And frankly, I tend to agree with this. But then they just keep suggesting people like political streamers. When,
yeah, there's a boy! Fuck you. Fuck both of you. You're all right. I don't mind you. No.
Fans don't see his show as like inherently a political space. In fact, the vast majority of his guests are just comedians that he just talks about, whatever's going on. I personally first really got into Joe Rogan when he was interviewing some of those people who were criticized by people I perceived as like, radical leftists, the postmodern neo-Marxists that are controlling the universities, like that kind of thing. No, I can do it better. I can do it better, Jordan Peterson. Hold on, I can do it better. It's not right. He gave a platform to talk about something which I was
It's not right. No, I can't do
wanted that kind of perspective.
I can't do one. I can't do Jordan
talking
Peterson.
about it that kind of time. And then because I kind of already bought into him as a result of that, I stuck around. But again, I didn't start listening to Joe Rogan because I like his politics. I started listening to Joe Rogan because he had an interesting space. There's nothing inherently wrong with labeling spaces as political. Just know that they're never going to be gateways. They're never going to help people genuinely shift their positions unless they're interacting with another political space that already exists. But the problem in that case is you really have to know not just your own side's arguments, but the other side's arguments really, really well. Some of my most successful interactions that I've had with people online started with me engaging with people who had a different opinion than me. I was able to speak with a language and in a manner that let them know that I heard them and that I understood where they were coming from. And in some of those cases, I was able to convince people to come over to my side. Well, a little bit, and maybe I'm just flattering myself. I don't know. Sound off in the comments if you hate me. So the takeaway here from a former...
There you go, Cosmic. There's your invitation. Find the video and go tell him you hate him.
I don't know, liberal now, I guess? I don't know. The internet labels politics really weird. If you ask, like, a leftist, I'm probably, like, center-right. And if you ask someone on the center-right, I'm probably far-left. So, I don't know. I have a lot of weird positions from both ends of the political spectrum. And anyway, for the average person, we just
I like hearing that. That's a good sign.
And for the people who've already started to go down the path towards radicalization a little bit, we need people who can interact with those spaces. Trying to get everyone on your side is a futile endeavor. And frankly, in a political context, opposition is a very...
Oh, man. Oh, neighbor Rooney. Oh, no. Can't I just kill all of them? Please? Mary Candace? No, I'd have to kill her. Megyn Kelly probably has the most money, so I guess I'd marry Megyn Kelly and then fuck Anna Kasparian. But I'd have to kill Candace Owens, man. We wouldn't work out. I'm Jewish. It just wouldn't work. She's not my type. We've got a whole... I can fix her. No, just not hating Jews is probably like the base level for my type. I feel like there might just be a bit of a compatibility issue there.
Positive thing, but not all is lost. If you can take away anything from my story, take away this. Things can always get better. Thanks for watching. Different from my other 3 videos.
Okay, well that was interesting. That wasn't that bad. I don't know what you're talking about, Cosmic. Anna has no redeeming qualities. She hates Jews less than Candace Owens. That's her redeeming quality. In my decision making process here. Like, do I want to like spend every night of my life sleeping next to somebody who might at one point be like, you know what, you're part of the conspiracy, and then fucking kill me? She hates Jews too, but she pretends not to, at least. I can make that work for a fuck. You know? Megan seems to hate Jews the least, so I'd have to marry her. Candace is just crazy. That's an easy thing to work with. I get it. I know, like, I get it. And, like, but there's, like, an actual, like, risk of danger to me. With Candace. With Anna, I just fuck her and not really be in any danger because she thinks she's a good person and doesn't want to kill people. Megan seems to, like, not hate Jews, so I'd probably marry Megan. I don't care. You understand, Cosmic? You understand that my calculus here is sort of based around one particular thing that I would need to be concerned about that you really don't have to be very concerned about? What about with Cosmic's dick? I don't know. That's up to Cosmic. Because, look, I could try to pretend I'm not Jewish, but the second my pants come off, that jig is up. All right? His body, my choice. I mean, yeah, I guess Candace is probably the best looking. I don't know. Marriage, Megan, again, seems probably like the most mentally stable. If you're talking about the rest of your life with somebody. So kill Anna, fuck Candace, marry Megan. Yes! But, like, she's predictable, okay? We're talking about marriage. What is this? Oh, I've seen this. I'm gonna say goodnight to YouTube. I've already played enough fucking. I've played it fast and loose with copyrighted content tonight. Fuck off, YouTube. Bye.